Welcome to Codex History of Video Games. My name's Tyler Osby.
And I'm Mike Coletta.
And this week we have a mailbag ready for you. We were going to do a mailbag last week. We had some technical difficulties. Mike, do you want to did you tell them about our technical difficulties?
I didn't tell him. I was like, because I was still like struggling with the setup. So what happened, if you didn't know, listener, here's a fun thing. The AM radio signals are stronger at night. And if your XLR cables aren't shielded, like mine were, because they were from bad stand-up comedy show setups I did in the past, you catch the AM radio. So we couldn't record because every time I got near my microphone, AM radio would start.
You would hear
off.
it loud and clear. It was quite impressive, actually, how good the AM radio sounded.
I was an antenna, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it worked out really well, I think. We can all agree.
Yeah. So you got some shielded cables, though. We can record at night. We're not right now, but we can.
We can record at night now, and I tested it at nighttime, and I didn't hear anything. So if anything, the audio quality should be better
I hope so.
now than before. I hope so.
I mean, you always
we'll
sound
see.
great.
Thank you. I got a new microphone. I got a new setup. Everything's better. But yeah, that was why we couldn't record last week. So apologies, everyone, that it didn't happen. But we're back, baby.
Hey.
So we got mailbag. I'm going to just start from the top.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So fun fact. Did you know that we just had our anniversary, Tyler?
I did not know that.
Because F-Base knew. Hey, guys. Just wanted to wish you and the podcast a happy anniversary. I love the work you are doing and listen every Monday.
Did we start doing this in May? When did we? I don't even know how long we've been doing this for.
So, I mean, this is the funny part is I definitely meant to look this up before we started recording today, and I did not. I can look on my phone right now.
How far back the episodes go? It must have been May of like 2018.
It was
probably?
2018 for sure.
So it must have been May of 2018.
May 2018, but I could find the exact date. It's kind of funny because you and I really haven't cared about our anniversaries or anything, I think.
No,
right?
And we've been doing this for so long. Sometimes we'll have ideas for an episode, and then we'll look it up and be like, oh, we've actually already done that one.
Be like, we definitely did that already. Our first episode was on May 21st, 2018.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's not. Oh, yeah, because we came out, we released released 3 in a row. I forgot we did that. So on May 21st, 2018, we released episodes 1, 2, and 3 on Pinball, MIT, The Odyssey, Nolan Bushnell, and Atari, and then Life at Atari.
Dang.
And that
was,
yeah.
We were really on it.
It was 8 years ago.
Nice. Well, what
are we going to do for our 10-year?
I don't know, but I think we're going to make it. We're going to make it.
I'm having a good time.
Me too.
So, yeah, we enjoy it, and we do it, and we make no money on it, and it's a passion project.
That's right. That's right.
For now.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. But yeah, so thank you so much. Is it F-Base 25? Did we determine that? We definitely found out.
F-Bass?
They definitely told us, and we definitely forgot already. So I apologize. F-Bass Base 25. But let me read. Do you want me to read the next one to you? Because that was kind of a short one. Or do you want to read this one about Call of Duty World at War?
Ooh, I'm excited to hear about it.
Because you're a Call of Duty guy. This is from James. James said, well, you played all of the old ones.
Yeah, that's true. I'm up to Black Ops 3 right now. I stopped my playthrough there. But I mean, I will get back to it. I do want to get back to it. That's just where I am right now.
I don't want this to sound like a critique, Tyler, but you can't say I'm kind of a Call of Duty guy and you're playing through every single Call of Duty.
No, you said I was a Call of Duty guy. I said only kind of. I said only kind of.
I think if you're playing through the old Call of Duties, you're a Call of Duty guy. Okay?
All right. Really just the campaigns. I don't touch multiplayer.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying like not the tea bags and the online shooting, not that, but just the campaigns, you know?
Yep.
Campaigns.
So I'm just kind of a Call of Duty guy.
Just kind of a Call of Duty guy.
Casual.
James, subject line is Call of Duty World at War and getting back into contact with a childhood friend. Are you ready to have your heart warmed, Tyler?
Oh, you bet I am.
So it starts out with saying, yes, there are countless other World War II games, and yes, there are countless other Call of Duty games, but there is just something about World at War that nothing else can touch.
It's a good one.
First and foremost, it is a horror game. World War II was one of the deadliest wars in history, and the monster looks like us. Secondly, it was made how no other game could be made again because it was lightning in a bottle. My friend and I used to play World at War for hours on end. We would play zombies, of course, but we would also play the campaign together over and over.
Was that the first Zombies?
It might have been the first Zombies.
I think it was, yeah. But yeah, you're right. The campaign is really good.
Yeah, I played the campaign. I really like that campaign. Well, that was at least 10 years ago. Just the other day, I got back into contact with him, now states apart. Luckily, he still had the same number, and we both have PCs in World of War, of course. So we decided to hop back on and play one of our favorite zombies maps we used to play, Shino Numa, laughing the whole time and only surviving till round 9 because we were having too much fun catching up and joking around. We decided to play a campaign after and didn't even beat the first mission because we were too preoccupied sitting inside a Japanese bunker on the island of Okinawa talking about how our life was going and gushing about how great World at War was and will always be, looking around the bunker and just studying all the detail the developers put into the game. Yeah, Call of Duty World at War is one of the best games ever created. I don't care if anyone disagrees. It will not change my mind. It has brought me and my childhood friend back into contact, and the nostalgia just came rushing back. Thanks, Treyarch. What a nice email, James. Thank you.
That is really nice. One of the things I like about World at War is that it is technically in the Black Ops universe because there's a lot of references to World at War in Black Ops 1 and 2. So it's just like
cool.
It's just like fun that they're in the same. I mean, I know World at War is in the like I guess real world universe because it's World War II, but it's funny how it's interesting how it ties into Black Ops.
Are there multiple Call of Duty universes?
I think so. I think
is the Call of Duty timeline like the Zelda timeline? Is it fractured and split?
I think it is. I think basically each developer kind of has their own sort of timeline, and like maybe they sort of like loosely reference each other, so it's like kind of hard to tell. But I know that because Treyarch made World at War and then the Black Ops games, there is a through line there of just like recurring characters and stuff like that.
That's cool though. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, do you want to read McBreezy's email about Zelda turning 40?
You bet I do. This one's from Mick Breezy. I promise never to write you as many times as this is like my 17th email this month. Mick Breezy.
We did get a lot.
Never stop.
It's okay.
In your Zelda 40 episode, you mentioned the trading quest for the Begoron sword in Ocarina of Time and how there was a trading quest in Link's Awakening. I believe that the Link's Awakening trading quest for the boomerang was the first in the series. I think that's correct. I would probably agree with you. From what I understand, as a weeb, there's a folktale in Japan of a peasant who trades up to like marry the emperor's daughter or own Korea or something. You guys should do an episode on Link's Awakening. The production behind it is kind of interesting, and it turns into one of those stories where everything is a little weird, but ends up creating a masterpiece. I agree with that. Also reminds me of you remember the one red paperclip thing that happened like 25 years ago on the internet? Where the guy started out.
They started with a paper. Yeah, they do this trading thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like a thing where it's like, I'm gonna end up with a sports car or a house or whatever.
Yeah.
It's popular. It's cool. I mean, I question the validity of the trades sometimes. Like if there's an inside job going on, you know?
Definitely. And I don't know about, I mean, I'm sure some of them are inside jobs. I think some of them are also like, by the time the story had got a lot of traction, it was like just being part of the story was like worth a lot, you know? So like the person who trades the house for the car is like, this is just somebody who like was cool with getting rid of a house and being part of the story, I think.
Honestly, hey, you know what? If someone needs a house, give them a house. That's
I agree.
Cool. That's how we feel.
I agree.
Not?
But Mick Breezy's email is not done. Also, regarding the timeline, I was never one of the people who cared too much about timeline. I'm pretty sure Nintendo has even stated that when making a Zelda, they decide on the theme or core mechanic and then build from there. The story usually doesn't come until later. That being said, although it makes some of the greatest games ever, it's really bad for continuity. I think it's a situation of the fans really wanting there to be some kind of linear progression through all of the games, and Nintendo was finally like, okay, fine, buy this $40 book and get off my back, which I think is true. I don't care about the Zelda
Hyrule
timeline.
Historia.
Yeah,
that's the Hyrule
which
Historia,
I do own.
Right? Yeah.
I did buy it.
Ooh, I have the art book. I don't have the Historia.
I think I have. There were 3 of them. There was like the Hyrule Historia, there was the art book, and there was a blue one. I can't remember what it is. What the blue one is, but they're all very good. I like those books. I don't care about the timeline for Zelda. I don't think it matters. Like I don't think it changes anything. I don't think
it's kind of like it's supposed to be a legend, right?
Yeah, I don't think it offers
like
any insight into like the story of whatever game you're currently playing, not in any meaningful way that matters. So I just don't care about the timeline, but people seem to like really want to place things in like the Ocarina of Time split, and there's the hero timeline and the Ganon wins timeline, and like it all matters. And like I don't think it does.
I don't think so either. It's kind of like how they talk about in James Bond, how it's the theory is that it's different people. They just take the name James Bond and they like become 007.
Yeah.
Right. It's like that, where it just Link is just a different Link throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is.
I like that in James Bond, except in Skyfall, when they go to his spoilers, when they go to his house and his family is literally the Bonds.
That is true.
They really ruined that. They really ruined it. Skyfall
put a whole wrench in
could have been better.
They probably did that on purpose. They're like, you know what? We don't want them to know. What if he's the first one though?
Well, he's not because his parents are also Bonds.
But no, the first James Bond. Like he's the
Oh.
first 007, and then
And then other ones
him.
come after him to just take his name. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have brought up James Bond in the middle of the Zelda.
I got a lot of thoughts about James Bond.
I know you do.
Similar to my Call of Duty run, I watched every James Bond movie a few years ago. So
I like that you do this.
I've seen every single James Bond movie.
And honestly, you're the one that convinced me to go through every single Metal Gear Solid game, and that is like a big chunk of my life I will always remember now. Is you and I just sitting over Discord while I play through these. You know what I mean? They're so fun.
Yeah. But McBreezy's email is not done.
No.
So I don't think we'll see any big remakes this year. I halfway consider Breath of the Wild as a remake of the original. It would be cool if Ocarina of Time was giving the same treatment, but I'd really love to get the Oracle games in a Link's Awakening style remaster and Minish Cap realized in full 3D with the Wind Waker art style, which I agree with all of those things. I would love to see an Ocarina of Time remake that's not just like, here's the same game, but better graphics, more or less. I want them to do like the Final Fantasy VII remake Rebirth. I don't think they need to split it into 3 games, but I would love to see like let's take the story of this game and like the ideas and the themes and a lot of the pieces of it, and then make it like a modern game that's not just a remake of the original game. Because we've got Ocarina of Time, we've played it on every Nintendo system since the N64. We've got the 3DS remake. Those are all great, but I just want like a reimagining of it.
For sure.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention Marines. Did you know that a Marine once impregnated an entire convent of nuns? 9 months later, the 1972 Miami Dolphins were born, the first team to go undefeated in the NFL. Frog legs, Brian. Thanks, McBreezy. I'm going to press X to doubt on that. I'm going to press X to doubt on that last fun fact. I think you could leave it in.
I know, I left it in. I was like, I'm going to see if I can get Tyler to read this email because I know he hasn't read this yet. It's like an SNL where they don't read them, know the jokes.
Stefan,
read it in. Yeah, and so I was like, I wanted to do
everything.
this for you. Oh, that was good. That was really good. By the way, we did do an episode on Link's Awakening. I wanted to mention that. Now, the issue is that was a long time ago when I was doing our whole Zelda series that I never really finished, and I think I didn't do the justice it deserved, considering it's my favorite Zelda game.
And you have a tattoo, right?
And I have a tattoo.
Yeah.
So if it's like I should do something more.
I was telling I went to visit my brother last weekend, and I was telling him about it because he has the Lego Game Boy with there's a Super Mario Land cartridge, and then there's also a Link's Awakening cartridge, and the screen, the Link's Awakening screen is that your tattoo. It is that at the end, which is so cool.
Yeah, I got the Game Boy as well. And I was like, oh yeah, that kind of reminded me to do it. So
yeah, for those of you who are listening and not watching, the tattoo is of Link and Marin sitting on a log looking at the sunset.
Yeah. And we took some creative license with this one.
Yeah,
we changed some stuff. There's no birds.
Yeah,
it's also not a sunset in the game.
Well, it's kind of hard to do a sunset on a monochrome Game Boy. Like, how would you even?
Yeah. So we didn't do that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's one more McBreezy email, and I want you to read it, and it's very short.
Okay. Subject is, will it run Doom? Saw on the interwebs that a hardware hacker, whatever that is, got Doom to run on a digital pregnancy test. And Mike found it.
I found it. I found the article. So there's a Popular Mechanics article about this where a guy, and it's actually from 2020, but a guy did get Doom to run on a digital pregnancy test, which is awesome.
I think that has been since debunked as a, like, he fit of like a teensy.
He did change it.
Yeah.
They even mentioned they changed it. He didn't put like, I read the article and he changed the screen. Like he made some modifications.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In the same way you mod a Game Boy, he modded the pregnancy test so it could play Doom.
Yeah.
Because it only showed symbols on the screen initially.
Yeah. It was something so it's just the screen he changed. The rest of the hardware is actually running Doom?
No, okay. I think he did some stuff to do it also.
Because my impression of it was that like basically it was like a small computer inside a pregnancy test that did it. It wasn't actually running on a pregnancy test, but still kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure. No, I just thought it was a cool little factoid, and I want to throw it in there. So the next email is from Reeve from Alaska, and it says, "Have you played SnowRunner yet? Also, what would be a good game to get for PS3 that is not a first-person shooter?"
Oh man.
I mean, Uncharted's come to mind immediately. It's not a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It's third person shooter, but Uncharted to me is like really up there as far as a fun, your Indiana Jones kind of game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a cool game.
Those are great. I have not played SnowRunner. I'm not even familiar with it.
It's an ice road trucker game, which
Oh.
is cool. So there was the game called Mud Runner. It's also made by Saber Interactive, who did Warhammer 40K Space Marine
Oh, okay.
1 and 2. So just throwing that out there.
All right.
Big fan of those.
Yeah. Sounds good. For a PS3 game that is not an FPS, yeah, so Uncharted, always a good choice. The Infamous games are always a good choice. Those are kind of third-person shooter. Ratchet and Clank, Future Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty, and Crack in Time, all three wonderful games. Into the Nexus is fine. It's a little bit short. And then All Out Assault, is that the tower defense one? It's okay. It's fine. Now I got to look at my wall of PS3 games. What do I got over here? There's a lot of great PS2 remake collections, like the Jack and Daxter collection, the God of War collection. Beyond Two Souls is pretty good too, although it's got a PC port now. And that's kind of it that I'm seeing that's like locked to it. That's not an FPS. Yeah, Heavy Rain was
Dude,
fun.
I forgot. Sorry, I got distracted because Saber Interactive is also making that Jurassic Park survival game that I'm very excited about.
Ooh.
It's like a true survival horror game in the Jurassic Park, in the timeline of the first film. So,
Okay.
yeah, but we should play SnowRunner. I think we don't. And I'm saying we, but I really mean me here. I guess it's a podcast, the Royal We. We don't really talk about like racing games or fighting games that much.
I'm not really into either of those genres, really.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like racing games. I'm really bad at fighting games because I just got the old man reflexes now.
Yeah,
you know
same.
what I mean? But like, I think we should branch out. Maybe that'll be something I go for. I might try to branch out.
Okay.
That's something that's a good side project for me.
Yeah.
To do.
Racing games are great because it's like a consistent genre that's been around since the beginning of video games, but it has evolved along with it, but also very much kept the core of what it is, right? Like you play a Mario Kart now, it's a lot better. Looks a lot better. There's like a lot of cool things that make newer Mario Karts better than older ones, but like you go back and play Super Mario Kart, it's the same game, baby. And there's something cool about that.
Yeah, it is really cool. And there's also some really good old arcade games that are racing games that I feel like we should cover. Like Hydro Thunder is actually really fun.
Yeah.
And then there's the off-road game that has the 4 steering wheels attached to the cabinet. It's like top-down racing. Did you ever play that one?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I should talk about that. I love that game. They have it at a bar, a like gaming bar in Spokane, and it's like my favorite game. It's connected to the comedy club I do there, so I go play that when I'm done with the show.
I do like Spokane.
Spokane, beautiful Spokane, Washington. You know, it doesn't get enough love. Also, Reeves says spider butts, and then there's a peach emoji and a spider emoji, which we gotta give the credit where credit's due.
Oh yeah, emoji game strong.
Do you want me to read? That was really short. Do you want me to read this LAN party one?
Yeah.
Right now from Brett from Utah. So the subject line is LAN parties and balls, BAWLS, the energy drink. Remember this?
Yeah, dude. Probably still exists in some form.
I hope so. So here, we'll find out more in a second, I'm sure. But greetings, Mike and Tyler. It's Brett from Utah again. Thank you for reading my email on your April 2026 mailbag episode. I'm glad you liked my idea about doing an episode on the history of LAN parties and are considering doing it. If you do, I feel like there's one part of LAN party culture that younger listeners might not be aware of. Before there was a Mountain Dew Game Fuel or Monster Energy drink, Balls Guarana was the unofficial drink of gamers and LAN parties. It was invented in 1996 by a recent university graduate who loved caffeine but hated the taste of coffee. Known for its distinctive blue glass bottle and citrus flavor, a bottle of Balls energy drink has 3 times the caffeine of a bottle of Coca-Cola. It was originally intended to be a trendy drink served in nightclubs, but quickly became popular among gamers who needed to stay alert during marathon gaming sessions. By 2002, Balls had focused on marketing on gamers, who made up 50% of the drink's consumers. That year, Balls sponsored over 2,500 LAN parties. It did not market itself as an energy drink, but rather a highly caffeinated premium soda. And additional Balls flavors were added, such as cherry, orange, ginger, and root beer. The drink was sold at CompUSA stores across the nation. That's a throwback name. And it was featured at Penny Arcade Expo from 2004 to 2008. At QuakeCon 2014, which was sponsored by Balls, attendees consumed 4,800 gallons of the beverage. These days, it's rare to find Balls in supermarkets or convenience stores, although it can still be ordered online.
Oh.
The company continues to sponsor commercial LAN parties and esports, and at QuakeCon 2025, a 90-minute documentary about the history of Balls was screened. It can
Ooh.
now be found on YouTube, and I have included it in the link below.
Oh, I want
I'm
to
gonna put it
watch
in the
this
Discord.
so bad.
I do too. Anyway, this email ended up being longer than I thought it would, and I don't want you to feel pressured to read it on the podcast. Too late, Brett. I just thought you guys should know about the drink that used to be synonymous with PC gaming and LAN parties. Cheers, Brett from Utah. And there is a correction because the link they provided was actually the wrong link. So I have the correct link in this one below.
Okay.
So, but I will share this link in the they sent the link to the trailer in the first one, and then they sent the actual link to the documentary at this one below. I'll share both of the links though, if you want to watch the trailer, in our Discord on Monday, or maybe even today, because who knows? Like, why not? So we're recording on Saturday. I have some memories here, Tyler.
Tell me about them, Mike.
But can we share our Balls memories together?
Balls memories.
Okay. So this is like a pretty big time in my life because I had a childhood best friend that went to DeVry University, which is one of those like digital tech universities in Federal Way, Washington. And I was still in high school. Like I was like 17, 18, and he was in school. He's like 2 or 3 years older than me. And he was like living the roommate college life. And the big thing I remember about that life was they would have so much Balls energy drink. Like they would be drinking it all the time, and they were playing. And he's the one that helped me build my PC and like got me into like PC gaming. This was actually maybe even 16, honestly. And so I have memories of going with him to this all you can eat Mongolian grill in Federal Way. We would not be stopped. It was insane. They don't exist. This does not exist anymore.
Because you ate
And
it
then
all.
we would go to, and we ate all of it. And then we would go to his house and we would play Counter-Strike or Nintendo GameCube or something and just drink Balls energy drinks all night. And like, it's just, when I read this, I was so happy because I remember the blue bottle. Like I remember everything about it.
Yeah,
and it
the
was
bumps on it. It had a texture on it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it's BAWLS if you want to look up this energy drink. It's old school.
And
early 2000s though was like peak, I would say.
It is delicious too. I actually think it tastes pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah.
We should order some.
I would drink some Balls with you. We used to drink it at our LAN parties in high school. We would get some Balls shipped in. That and Jolt Cola, which like its whole thing was it's Coca-Cola but with double the caffeine or whatever. And because we were like high school kids who wanted to stay up all night, we just drank Balls and Jolt Cola till we passed out.
There was a time, and it was probably like, it was definitely like 2002 to like 2014, where there were things that were way too caffeinated.
I mean,
I'm thinking about
still
Four Loko also. And then to some extent, they had the charged lemonades
at
Panera,
Yep.
right? And it's still like a problem, but that was like a whole thing where it was like alternatives to coffee that were way worse caffeine-wise than coffee.
Yeah.
And you drink them and you just be like shaking all night.
How much is a case of Balls? If I want to buy some Balls, I want to buy Balls. I'm typing that into DuckDuckGo right now. Balls Guarana, balls.com, explore Balls shop. I want to
know.
They got root beer. Okay, Balls Original, 10 ounce, 24 pack of Balls Original is $52. So you're looking at like a little over $2 a thing, and they're less than a can.
If it's only available online, that would make sense because they don't like mass produce it.
They also have Balls 16 ounce 24 pack for the same price, $52. Although it looks like it comes in a tall can instead of, but that just has the bottle printed on the can.
You want the bottle. The bottle is a part of the experience, listener. It's very important to me that you have the bottle.
That's true. Although I will say it is a much better deal to get the cans.
Get the bottles.
All right.
Live your life.
Live your life. Yeah.
It's okay. You know what? If you get the Balls in a can, you have to email us and tell us if it tastes the same. Because you know how like Diet Coke's different in a bottle versus a can?
That's true. That is true.
I want to know which is the better one.
They sell Ball Variety packs. You can get original Ball Variety can 12 pack, $32 they sell because they have like a cherry one, a root beer one, original one. Wow. Okay.
This podcast is not sponsored by balls, but it could be.
Yeah. If you want to send us
But it could be.
a case of balls, we will talk about it on the podcast. I promise. We're already
We'll
doing
talk about it. We'll talk about it for way too long. It won't be an ad, but it'll feel like an ad by the time we're done with it.
We'll drink it
That's how
throughout the
it'll feel.
podcast. It will be, if you send
Yeah.
it to us for free, it will be an ad.
I will shotgun a balls energy drink on this program.
I will as well.
for you.
Send it to us.
Yeah. In the room I record, and I'll spill it everywhere. It'll be worth it. Okay. So thank you, Brett from Utah. Gosh, that's just such a memory lane. You know what I mean?
Really is.
It feels so good. So we got some Discord stuff going on now. Do you want to read this one from Discord?
Yeah.
I believe it's from Burger Champ.
Okay, the first one here is greetings, fellows. One of the things that makes gaming a great medium is the different ways players can experience games. Rate these aspects of gaming by the importance that they hold for you. I understand that there can be variance in mood, and some games will hit you in a way that you don't normally engage with, but just as a discussion piece, we're looking for the broad strokes of what is generally most important to you in gaming as a medium. Okay, so we need to be like putting these in an order. So I need to open up like a notes app.
Yeah, we don't have to like be really serious about it. But let's read the whole message. This is from Burger Champ,
Okay.
by the way. So
Okay, so here are the categories: gameplay, story, visuals. This includes fidelity and art design / aesthetic, music and sound, world, characters. This includes written characters and player created characters, and then player agency / impact of choice / effect on the world. I know that the best worlds are built through good characters, but I feel like the combination of interactivity and visual storytelling in games often makes them feel distinct. I am personally a gameplay first gamer. A great story or world or character adds another level of enhancement to the experience, but for the most part, if a game isn't fun to play, no amount of brilliant writing or stunning visual flair is likely to pull me through. I can suffer through dumb writing or sloppy visuals if a game is fun to play. Keep up the good work, Burger Champ.
ooh.
And then there's a bonus question. We can get to that, I think, after
We can get to that after this, yeah.
Okay.
I think I agree with Burger Champ in that gameplay is my number one. Because if it's a video game, it has to be fun to play.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
I think for me, I put gameplay and story are probably a very close. Maybe gameplay a little bit outshines story. I will say a bad story, but a game that is fun to play, like, is still a good game. But I do think there is a world where the story is so good that it kind of makes up for mediocre gameplay. And I'm trying to think of good examples of this. I mean, maybe people will disagree with me on this, but like Metal Gear Solid 2 might be a good example of that. Like the gameplay is generally pretty good in Metal Gear Solid 2, but like the controls, at least by modern standards, like not great, but the story really carries you through. If the story weren't there, you'd be like, cool, it's Metal Gear Solid again, I guess. And like, that's it, right?
This is why this is a challenge.
Yeah. So
because you made a really good point just now. Because I think there was a point when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 1 where I was getting upset with the controls.
the first one
like,
is bad,
and you were
especially
like,
for that reason.
just trust me, stick with it. We got to power through this one. You got to understand it. And I was like, I trust you, Tyler. And I did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did because it got better and better as it went along.
And this is also a controversial opinion, but Twin Snakes gameplay is better than the original Metal Gear gameplay. We can talk about the cutscenes. We can talk about all the things that like people don't like about Twin Snakes, whatever. But like, I think it is a defensible opinion to say that like the gameplay is better because they basically just took Metal Gear Solid 2 gameplay and said, here's the story of Metal Gear Solid 1.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
So
because you even told me like if you go back and play the original PlayStation version, it's even rougher.
It's really
even
rough.
rougher.
It's
And he's like,
really
yeah,
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's I'm just gonna do my ranking. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Gameplay first.
Okay.
Controversial. I'm gonna write it on here. Gameplay first is 1. I'm gonna say characters is 2. I'm gonna then say world is 3. And then I'm gonna say story 4. Oh man, visuals is 5. Music and sound is 6, and I do not care about player agency.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That falls
I
under.
don't care about being a hero. I don't think it really matters to me. And I'm thinking about games like Stardew Valley, or like Animal Crossing. You're just building a world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're just building your own little thing, and your own power wash simulator.
I would argue that in a game like Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley, your impact on the world is huge, right? What you do changes the stuff. Like if you do the Jojo Mart run, or if you do, right?
I guess I'm thinking specifically about games like Mass Effect.
Oh,
when you
where
make
it's like
those
a
kind of choices and
yeah.
stuff, And I'm like, yeah, I guess it makes more sense when you have that, and it's like, okay, like, do you stop the genophage? Do you keep the like, what's your thoughts on that kind of thing? But for me, I think when I play a game, it's the gameplay first. Do I like the characters? Do I like the world I'm in? And then I've played games where those three apply, and the story itself is pretty like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I
But I
mean?
like the people in this game and I kind of like the world that they've created. Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree with you on all of these points. Also, I would say player agency that kind of rolls into gameplay because I care about it in as much as it affects gameplay or in as much as it affects story, but on its own it's not necessarily important, right? Like that's not a selling point to me to say like, "Oh, your actions affect everything else." I'm like, "That's cool if that leads to something cool, but like that in and of itself it doesn't matter to me."
Yeah, would player agency, impact of choice, and effect on the world, wouldn't that roll into story kind of more
I,
than
I
anything?
think it kind of does. It's like where gameplay and story sort of intersect. I think where like what you do changes the story, and
Yeah.
that's cool. But that's just an interaction between those two things. I don't necessarily think it's something on its own. Though certainly willing to be challenged on this. The only thing that I would disagree with you on is I would probably swap visuals and music and sound because I'm just a much more audio focused person. I care
Yeah,
about a
I
game
was
that has
think
good music or good sound effects more than I do about a game that has cool visuals. But I that's just my personal opinion. Like other people might be like, I love beautiful visuals. I turn the sound off. I don't care. Right.
yeah, I was thinking about that, and then I realized art design was listed in there because I really like it. Because I'm thinking about games that are like really good pixel art.
Mm-hmm.
Think about games like Tunic, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like a weird cell shade. It's like when you make that choice for how your art's going to look in your game, I really like it when you make a choice and you stand by that
Yeah.
choice. And when I say you, I mean a game developer,
Right.
not you.
Not me
But yeah,
personally.
yeah. I care when Tyler takes a stand, makes a choice
That's
in
true.
his art direction in life.
Yeah.
But that's a really good question. It's also a really hard question too, because I bet you I could sit here and go around in circles and not make a choice. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, you always say you're like a story guy. You care about the story. I'm like, yeah, I do. Because the story can throw me out of a game, but I think a gameplay throws me out of the game faster.
Yeah. And it's also like what gets you excited. Like when you see a trailer for a game and you see, oh, the story looks really good. There are some people that see that and they go, I just don't care about stories. Like show me the game. Is the game good? I don't care about the story like Last of Us. I don't care. I just want to shoot zombies. But when I see a trailer and I like see a good story, I'm like, I'm more excited for the story than I am for the gameplay sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, but then also it is not impossible, but it is very difficult for a good story to carry a otherwise bad
Yeah,
game, right?
that's
But
happened
a
before.
but a bad story is actually fine. And like there are plenty of games that have stories that are just afterthoughts that don't matter, and the gameplay is fine. And I wouldn't even put it as a knock. Like Doom, I'm not gonna knock the original Doom for having a bad story, right? I'm not gonna be like this game, like everything about it's great, but the story kind of sucks. So like I don't know. I'm like, you don't. Who cares, right?
Yeah, that's true. The gameplay of Doom is a great example of why the story does not matter to me. Actually, that's a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
strong
But
example.
it again, it can be a very strong motivator. I see Last of Us Part 2 trailer. Don't show me the gameplay. I just want to know what can I expect in the story of this game because I'm so invested.
Let's think about the most popular game in the world, which, well, I guess not popular game in the world because that's not true, but one of the most influential games in the world, which is Grand Theft Auto.
Mm,
People play Grand Theft Auto and they don't play any of the missions and they just go around and mess around in the world.
hmm
And I think that's an argument for gameplay more than story. Even though I love the stories personally of Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah,
like I play the games to play the missions. I like the stories. Like I loved the 3 split story in Grand Theft Auto 5. Like I understand there are people that don't care. They just want to go shoot
yeah,
cars with a rocket launcher off a building. However you want to live your life. And
right.
that's what's beautiful about Grand Theft Auto is that let you do that.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, I would say a game. I'm just pulling this out, but like a game like Heavy Rain, the gameplay is fine. It's whatever. Like you could even say that it's like sort of just glorified quick time events for the most part. But the story is good enough that like it makes the game worthwhile to play, right? So,
For sure. Yeah, I've never played Heavy Rain,
oh, you should. That's worth
but I
all
also
those
don't
games.
like quick time events.
Oh yeah, well, all of those games have worthwhile story. That was like Heavy Rain, Fahrenheit is in there too, or Indigo Prophecy, which I haven't played, but Heavy Rain's good. Beyond Two Souls is good. Detroit Become Human is also good. Those are all the same company, and they're all good kind of for the same reasons because they're mostly story based games with like the gameplay is kind of minimal in a lot of them, but they're still worth playing. Still good.
Nice. We'll always check it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next question that
Bonus
Burger Champ had.
question.
That took a long time.
Yeah. Bonus question. What games have you taken a chance on and ended up loving that were atypical to the style of game you prefer? I can answer this immediately. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I did not like tactical RPGs before I played that game. I played that game and I was like, oh, I get it now. And I have played XCOM since then. I've played Final Fantasy Tactics. I've played Fire Emblem games. I've played Persona 5 Tactica. I actually love tactical RPGs now that I was like introduced to it by Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Nice. My answer, well, that would be an answer for me because you got me into Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah, so good.
It's good.
I still haven't finished Spark of Hope, though.
My answer to that is Blueprints, the puzzle game,
Mhm.
because I am not a big puzzle guy. In fact, when it comes up in D&D, I sometimes get mad. I'm just like, I gotta make a puzzle. But every time I've made a puzzle in D&D, it's always like, in my mind, I'm like, this is gonna be really easy, but it's something for them to do.
Mhm.
And then it's not easy. It's not clear. So
And you're like,
I
is it
think just-
because they're dumb or is it because I made a bad puzzle? Like that's
I think it's because I made a bad puzzle, realistically. I think that's what it is. Or I didn't describe it well enough, or I didn't include props enough. Like when I'm DMing, I try to put that back on me. It's less on them, it's more on me.
Yeah.
It's also hard too, because you don't want a puzzle to be like, oh, it's super easy, and you don't want it to be, oh, it's really hard. You want it to be like naturally let in. And I think that's what Blueprints does so well, is you're gonna figure out these puzzles almost on accident just by playing the game.
That's cool.
That's what's it gives you that idea that you're like revealing stuff. It almost makes you feel smarter than you actually are. I think that's why I liked Blueprints, is it kind of made my ego feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
As far as like being like, oh, I'm running into stuff. And then you get really good at drafting the rooms and stuff. And also the whole drafting roguelike thing, not anything like I normally play also. And so it's like two genres I don't normally play combined that made me really like the game. So Blueprints immediately came to mind when this question was asked. So nice.
Good answer.
I'm going to read this one. Oh, this is a long email or long. Is it an email?
I don't know.
That was an email. That wasn't even Discord. My bad, everybody. We're still on emails. This is from Josh from Sunny, Michigan. And the subject line is GoldenEye is great. Warning, long, sorry.
All right. Well, y'all know how I feel about GoldenEye, so.
I'm excited about this. Hi, dudes. Josh from Sunny, Michigan here. I love the show. I think it's time for me to wade into this clown show of people clowning on GoldenEye. The assertion was that GoldenEye was popular because it was a lot of people's first-person shooter. That may have been a factor, but it certainly wasn't the case for me, at least. I've been playing first-person shooters since well before Doom came out. Wolfenstein 3D and Ken's Labyrinth were big around my house as a kid. Technically, I didn't even own an N64. I shrewdly bought one for my little brother for his birthday, simultaneously gaining cool Big Brother points and also access to an N64.
Nice.
That's a pro move.
Mm-hmm.
Pro move. If the only criterion for your tier list is just what do I feel most like playing tonight? Well, I'm not going to try to argue with feelings, but ignoring the entire context of when and how this game was released feels like a missed opportunity, in my opinion, especially for a podcast about video game history.
Dang.
Appreciate
the criticism.
I mean, I think he's just critiquing you. I'm just kidding.
No, I appreciate it.
No, it's valid. My fellow listener from the previous mailbag compared GoldenEye unfavorably to Quake 3 and Counter-Strike, which, as Tyler pointed out, came out years later. And I'll add that this is a time when both technology and gameplay innovations were coming at a breakneck pace. Just a reminder that the N64 had a 94 megahertz processor and 4 megabytes of RAM. For comparison, Quake 3's minimum requirements had 233 megahertz processor and 64 megabytes of RAM. So the quote hot take is that having 16 times the resources and 2 more years worth of FPSs to draw inspiration from is a good thing, which I'm pretty sure like literally nobody disagrees with. I prefer to look at games through the lens of how they were innovated and drove the hobby forward. If you push a boulder 20 feet up a steep hill, then your brother comes along and pushes it another 6 inches. Which of you deserves more praise? By the quote, newer is better metric, your brother's mark is higher than yours. So what he did is obviously better. Newer is better would also call the Model T a bad car because it would lose in a race to a modern car, but that ignores the fact that the entire automotive industry wouldn't exist without the Model T. For GoldenEye, I think the closest point of comparison is probably Quake 2, which came out just a few weeks before. It's still not exactly apples to apples, though, because Quake 2 required at least 16 megabytes of RAM. Regardless of all that, though, let's take a look at some of GoldenEye's features that were rare to non-existent in first-person shooters from 1997, regardless of platform. Weapon reloads, dual-wielding weapons, scoped weapons with zoom, retrievable throwing knives, remote mines and proximity mines, rudimentary first-person storytelling a year before Half-Life, rudimentary first-person stealth gameplay with silenced weapons, security cameras, and alarms a year before Thief, a drivable vehicle with its own weapon 4 years before Halo, naturalistic environments, breakable windows, enemy with different pain animations depending on where you shoot them, shooting hats off. I forgot about shooting hats off. I do love doing that. Non-combat NPCs with their own special behaviors like running from gunfire and stopping, putting their hands up when you aim at them. Multi-objective levels where the number of objectives varies based on difficulty. Unlockable cheat modes like Big Head and Paintball. Paintball, by the way, was the pro move. This is Mike talking about in the email. The pro move to make it so your mom didn't care that there was blood.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Paintball mode needs to come back.
Yep.
Okay, that lets you play games that you're not allowed to play. So everyone should bring paintball mode back. 4-player split-screen multiplayer with multiple modes, all for about $290 in hardware, which wouldn't even be enough to afford a single PC at a LAN party.
True.
That's a good point. There's a reason you probably know who Neil Armstrong is, but you probably don't know who Gene Kernan is. Being the first at something takes a lot more work than being the last. GoldenEye wasn't the first in everything, but it was hugely innovative. It was still influencing today's games today. Regardless of personal taste, is a critical part of video game history. Thanks for indulging my Mondo ramble. You guys do great work. Cheers, Josh. I'm going to say, this is just me jumping in here. I think we're talking about two different things.
I agree.
Because I don't think anyone's arguing that GoldenEye wasn't innovative. I mean, we all watched. Did you watch the documentary on GoldenEye, by the way?
Maybe.
The one that came out from NoClip. It's really good.
Probably. I can't remember.
It's really good. But I think the argument that people make is like the fun factor of these games later on down the line. Like, would you rather pick this up or pick that up?
Yeah.
But I do think every point that Josh made is extremely valid.
Yes.
Like, for sure. Especially like the hardware differences you see there, all the different things it did, like all of the, and I know that they talk about in that documentary, like the AI, we talked about this, I think, separately off the podcast, but the AI wasn't AI, but it tricked people into thinking it was AI by just basic programming, like the shooting someone in the arm and making them hold their arm.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, the bot can feel, when it's like, no, it's just coded in.
You
but
just shot it in the arm, so now
it
it can't use
makes
its arm.
people think that. Like, that was the magic of GoldenEye, I think, was that it made you think these things of what it was. They did some crazy things to make you think that.
Yeah.
Especially as a kid, like playing this game, you're like, oh my God. Like, they humanized these little bots running around the screen. That's what was great. But also, I hate Oddjob. So as far as someone, if you play Oddjob in GoldenEye, always banned.
Yep.
Insta ban.
Yes.
If you will.
I 100% agree with you. I would never argue that GoldenEye was not an important game or that it was not a great game for its time. My argument stems from the fact that I think it does not hold up well when you go back to it. And I would, and the hand wave here is sort of like, well, it's old. Of course, there are things that are better than it. True. However, if you hand a game like Super Mario 64 to like a 10-year-old today, that's still a very fun game for that 10-year-old to play, regardless of like what other context that they have, because they've been playing Mario Odyssey or they've been playing whatever. Like Mario 64 holds up because it is very, very good. And yes, there are things that came later that are objectively better, but that game holds up. I don't think GoldenEye does. I think if you've played a lot of modern first-person shooters and somebody hands you GoldenEye, you play it and you go, cool, neat piece of history, not that fun right now. That's what I think. I think people who remember it fondly remember it. They are remembering it fondly. I don't think it still is good. But I would never argue that it was not important. It is an extremely important game in the history of video games. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And as the resident nostalgia goggles on the podcast, I definitely had that on. You know, I mean, and also just from my own gaming perspective too, like I played way more Perfect Dark than I played GoldenEye. Like it's not anything against GoldenEye. It's more about how great Perfect Dark took that formula and made it even better. It's
Absolutely.
really about that. Like, and it's rare. I mean, it's all rare.
Mhm.
It's just like the studio just was like, we get to reiterate on GoldenEye with the magic we made with GoldenEye, we get to make it even better with Perfect Dark. And that's what I would still play.
Yeah, Perfect Dark holds up much, much better. Like that's still a pretty fun game, I'd say, even though it has similar frame rate issues and stuff like that. But I think it is still I think it's the better game that you can go back to if you're looking to play like what is the best FPS on N64. I think Perfect Dark.
Yeah, but I thought as far as if GoldenEye is innovative, Josh nailed it.
Yes.
Throwing out the Model T.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of Model T references in 2026.
That's right. Yeah, I would not argue that the Model T was not an important car. However, if you handed it to a 16-year-old today and they went to go drive it, they would be like, "What is this? This is not good." Right?
It's true. It's true. But that's a really good email, Josh. We appreciate you emailing in and calling it out. It's important.
Appreciate that. Always love a good critique. Please don't hold back. If you think we have done something poorly, tell us.
We probably should use our tier list more also from a historical standpoint than just vibes. But here's the problem with the internet. They like vibes more.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, well, and that's what makes like our tier list different from somebody else's tier list, right? Like if you're just going off of objectively like what are the most important games, like everybody's gonna have the same tier list, and that's I don't know, that's not as fun.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know we got I got critiqued for putting Titanfall 2 so high with its campaign, which I'm like, I get that, but that's also my again, nostalgia goggles on because that I was not ready for how good that story was. Like I in my mind, I played Titanfall 1 and it was just strictly multiplayer, by the way. We should talk about Titanfall. It's been long enough.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
But like Titanfall 1 was kind of I'm going to say ballsy, like since we were talking about balls earlier. About
BAWL.
Like,
yes.
Balls. Yeah. BAWL ballsy in that it was innovative for the time. It was multiplayer only.
Yeah.
It was, I think it came out, I think it was $40.
Yeah.
It wasn't full price.
Yeah. Something like that.
So in that sense, it's definitely worth talking about. But yeah, I think GoldenEye innovative. And I agree with you, James, not to ramble on too long, but we were talking about you're talking about the fun factor. James is talking about the historical significance.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to do Discord ones. And this is a great name. And it's Charles Thickens. You want to read Charles Thickens?
Yes. Here's a query for you bright young men. What are the games you're both most glad that you've played because of / been exposed to through the podcast? What about any opinions that have changed through the things you've played or learned due to the cast? How about other forms of media that you've enjoyed that you've come to due to their relation to games, i.e. any of the films or books that influenced the Metal Gear games, Twin Peaks connections to Remedy games, etc. Somewhere to the tune of 8 years in, you guys should be proud. Never die. Wow, shoot. I should have read this question ahead of time because I don't have.
It's okay. I can talk for a while, so don't worry about it. But yeah, so I wrote immediately. Metal Gear Solid was the one that I played through the podcast because I never would have played that without you, Tyler, and this podcast. Kingdom Hearts also comes to mind, even though my critique of Sora still makes you upset. The Splatterhouse game was one, like really horror in general. I was not a big horror fan before we started this podcast. And there are so many video games that use horror as a way to like go through them. And I know Tyler's not a fan of horror either.
No.
That I now watch horror movies. I follow along with like the creepypasta horror things on the internet. You know, I'm going to go see Backrooms tomorrow. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff would not have been a part of my life if it wasn't for this podcast and me reading about that kind of stuff and getting into that kind of stuff. So I would say that really did it for me. As far as other forms of media I've enjoyed that do the relation to games, I am reading a lot more books than I used to.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's the books that we have read for this have been, they're probably things I might not have read otherwise.
I don't want to sound like a huge square here, but like everyone talks about it when you're a kid, how you don't read a lot enough and stuff. And then you're like, start reading books for the podcast. And I was like, I'm reading books all the time now. And I'm like, I do feel more in line with humanity right now. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like I feel more connected.
The books and the video game movies we've watched, because we watched the Doom movie, we watched Until Dawn, we watched a few movies that I probably just wouldn't have watched otherwise, especially like something like Until Dawn, where it's like, okay, I played the game. Also, the movie is apparently not that good. Like I don't need to partake in this. Like I didn't particularly love the game either. So whatever. But I'm glad we watched it. I think that was a really fun time. And then mostly the books. As far as like games that I've gotten into because of the podcast, usually the games that I've talked about on here are games that I was already interested in and didn't get into because of the podcast. But there's probably examples that I'm not thinking of. Duke Nukem Forever I wouldn't have played.
Oh, Duke Nukem Forever. Also Duke Nukem Forever got me excited about strategy guides again. Like old school paper strategy guides.
Yeah.
Because I bought the Duke Nukem Forever strategy guide. It's over there. I have it.
Yeah.
Because I saw it at a game store and I was like, who else is gonna buy this but me? I need to purchase this.
I did play the God of War games, I feel like, and Marathon. I did play the original Marathon. Like I had a little bit of experience with it from back in the day, but like I went back and actually like put some significant time into the original Marathon for the Marathon episode a few weeks ago.
Yeah, this podcast puts so much stuff on my radar that I wouldn't normally have done. Like even like Reeves' suggestion earlier about SnowRunner, like the ice road trucking game. Like I, with my brother, started playing Farming Simulator. Like I never would have done that either. You know, that's just something I'm like kind of opening up more because of this podcast and playing more. So it's there.
Yeah.
All right, you want to read? I need to read the next one.
Okay.
Did you answer that fully? Do you feel good about it?
Yeah.
You want to answer more?
I feel as close as I'll be able to get to it now, I think.
I also mentioned Spec Ops: The Line too.
I need to play that still.
You need to play that still.
Oh, I know.
You should really play it because we've never covered it on the podcast. I played it for the podcast and then I didn't do the episode because
I hadn't played it yet.
You haven't done it yet.
I know.
Yeah. All right, from Casino Tarantino. Guys, I apologize that I haven't written in a while, but I realized something and I've become distraught over it. It's come to my attention that you guys have gone years without a John Glames reference. As your friend, I feel like Jaybird gets all the attention while John Glames has been left in the dust. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. That's a good point, though.
I think that's
we
true.
Need to bring more John Glames.
The Jaybird memes are a little bit stronger than John Glames.
Yeah, John Glames. It's hard because I feel like Jaybird's a little more accessible to everyone, and John Glames is just like an obscure fake James Bond that we love. You know, if I ever finally get around to it and make merch, I'll do a John Glames shirt for sure.
So we
just
get
say Glames, John Glames. Well, who's gonna come after us?
I would love to know. Actually, that's a great. Probably it would be good for the podcast.
Honestly, if there's one thing we're purchasing as a podcast, it's the right to use John Glames. Okay, I would purchase the IP for John Glames. That's one thing I would buy.
Same.
And yeah, so it's worth it. All right, do you want to go over the next one here?
Yeah, the last one. In the last mailbag, it was referred that COVID has changed gaming. As a single player only physical disc owning gamer, my gaming has not changed. So can someone enlighten me as to how it's changed? I can tell you big time. Play a game like Among Us. That is a game that had been out for years before the pandemic, and it was fine. And people liked it, whatever. When we were all stuck inside and couldn't go out to see each other, this was a way to hang out. I think multiplayer games big time changed because of gaming or because of COVID. And the especially the games that you can like come together and like co-op or sort of play together, but where you can like just have like a good time with your friends while you're doing it, not so much necessarily focused on the game. Like Among Us isn't really about playing the game. It's about playing the people that you're playing against, right? That is how games have changed, I think. Games have become the third place that has gone away since COVID and maybe even before COVID, but hasn't really come back. If you've only ever played single player games and you play physical discs and you don't download your games, then yeah, nothing changed for you. You were living life like COVID before COVID, and I guess you're a hipster because of that, and I think that's awesome for you if you're happy about it.
Yeah. Friend slop.
That is the name of the genre.
Is COVID.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what and they gave us friend slop, and you know what? I think that term was derogatory and is now positive because it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it, and I think it's fun that there are these games that you play with friends for a few hours and then put down.
Yep.
Like Are we there yet? So fun.
Peak is like costs a few bucks. You play one or two times, you get a couple hours out of it. That's fun.
It's worth it. Yeah.
It's cheaper than going to play mini golf with your friends, and you get more time out of it.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that. It's good to get a little clarification. That person's name, by the way, is Suyukma. I don't know how to say it, but I mean, hey, thank you so much. Hopefully I didn't say that wrong. So you could tell us in another email if I said it wrong.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay. Or another Discord message. But yeah, that's it. So you want to say what you've been playing, Tyler? And we can end this out?
Yeah, I've been putting some time into Star Fox because I want to get my skills back up. for the remake that's coming out. I'm kind of worried that like if I play the original before a remake comes out, that I'll like burn myself out on it. Can't burn out on Star Fox. I will never burn out on Star Fox. I'm not worried about it. You know, honestly, on some days it might be. Can't burn out on Star Fox. Otherwise, that's kind of it. A little bit of Slay the Spire 2. And on the plane flight back from Montana, I went to Montana last weekend. I played like 3 hours straight of Ocarina of Time remake for 3DS, and I got from nothing to about halfway through Dodongo's Cavern, and now I'm like almost to Jabu Jabu's Belly, and I think I'm gonna stick with it and probably finish that game, and then maybe play Master Quest because I've never actually played through Master Quest before, but I guess you have to play through the original Quest on the 3DS version before you get Master Quest. Unclear, but I am loving playing through the original. So,
what about you? Oh, I've been so I said I was gonna try to beat Divinity. That was cute of me to say that. Divinity. I'm playing Original Sin 2. Okay. This is Original Sin 2. It's very long, and I'm still in the same act I was in because I just kept getting distracted by all these quests, and I care about these characters. Like I was saying before, like I care about the characters. Like I really want to like get to know, like solve all their origins and stuff, and I don't want to miss any of those because I already missed one thing. This frustrates me about CRPGs because I love CRPGs. I don't like that. Almost every single one of them has an aspect of if you miss it in one act, you can't really go back. And just because the games are so big.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to play this again. You know, that's like the idea. It's like, play it again then, I guess. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah. This is spoilers for Baldur's Gate 3, by the way. If anyone wants to tune out now, you can. But there is a curse you can lift in Act 2, excuse me. And I didn't even do it. And I lost a companion because I just didn't know.
Dang.
I just missed it. And I was like, well, I guess I don't have him for the rest of the game. And I was kind of like, I'm not going to go replay all that. It was a whole act. That was like 10 hours. So, but I should just replay Baldur's Gate 3. I might do that, though, because I've kind of been in a CRPG mood where people just tell me a story while I do some very light. I have story mode turned on.
And make it easy.
Divinity Original Sin 2, and it's great. Like,
we're big on easy mode here at Codex.
Why are we trying? You know, why? I'm not a tryhard. I just want to play the game and get the story and understand the references.
Yep.
That's all I want to do. So, but yeah, it's really fun. I enjoy that. I haven't played any Marathon. I've been playing some Battlefield 6 as a cozy game still, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff. So, with that though, if you want to support us, it's been 8 years. Holy buckets. Thank you for supporting us this long. That's crazy. But if you want to keep supporting us, you can go to codexpodcast.net. That's our website. It's got everything on there you could ever think of, our Discord invite, our contact form, our social media that we don't really use anymore. But speaking of social media, Codex has social media that you can follow on TikTok. We're on Instagram. Those are all linked on there too, I believe. But with that, Tyler, do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.